Hij is ver genoeg teruggespeeld.
In the year 2020, the dream of universal educational access for everyone of ability is within reach. At the same time, the fortunes of many familiar colleges and universities have waned. The road to 2020 is a long one. In Hecademos, in a walled garden adorned with statues, temples, and sepulchres of illustrious men, Plato opens a school for those inclined to attend his instructions. His followers are known as academics, and they advocate a philosophy called skepticism. The tools of learning are discourse, meditation, and reflection. As centuries pass, higher education becomes an engine of prosperity and social progress. By the end of the 12th century, itinerant scholars no longer roam the countryside, as great academic centers are built at Bologna, Oxford, Paris, and elsewhere. The modern research university is introduced in Berlin. By 1901, 200,000 students are enrolled in U.S. colleges and universities, and the first community college is established at Joliet, Illinois. These institutions open higher education's gates wide to women. After the Second World War, the GI Bill of Rights brings the veteran to campus. Clark Kerr coins the term multiversity to describe the sprawling U.S. research university. By the 1970s, more than 10 million students enroll in U.S. colleges and universities alone, and American higher education is the envy of the world. In this decade, Professor John Sperling establishes the University of Phoenix, bringing higher education to the working adult. The 21st century is mired in complexity. While more than 1,000 community colleges serve much of the need for educated citizens, the cost of a private American university education outstrips the means of all but the wealthiest Americans. The University of Phoenix now has the largest enrollment of any U.S. university. MIT throws higher education's gates open wider by posting syllabi, lecture notes, course resources, and even entire lectures online, free for all to use. At the same time, the U.S. Patriot Act makes it harder for international students to pursue their educational dreams in the U.S. China announces plans to rapidly expand educational opportunities for its population. Big-name institutions prosper, building multi-million-dollar endowments, while others discount their tuition to attract new students. Despite discounts, Republican leaders in the House of Representatives claim that colleges feel justified in routinely kicking Middle America in the teeth. Technology and higher education are intertwined from the beginning. The quill and scriptorium are supplemented in the 15th century as movable type and the mass production of paper paved the way for expanded literacy. By the middle of the 20th century, computing behemoths like Manchester's Baby and ENIAC are powered up on university campuses. The first 4 nodes of the ARPANET are fired up on college campuses, and before the end of the century, the World Wide Web is developed at the CERN Particle Physics Lab, and 2 young Stanford University students perfect a search engine they call Google. Not only have computers become personal, they have become nearly ubiquitous. By 2006, one research organization reports that students rate Apple iPods more highly than they rate beer. Video gaming attracts millions. Most American collegians boast an up-to-date computer, an iPod, and a broadband internet connection. Products and services from companies like Google, Apple, Microsoft, and Sony are embedded in the student experience and are beginning to shape academic culture. 2008, Google announces the formation of its higher education division. Google's now immense digital library is the foundation for this division. Google announces an affiliation with the Sakai Foundation, for the support, maintenance, and upgrade of Sakai open source e-collaboration software. Google also announces the creation of an open source repository of learning objects. In a much ballyhooed Independence Day briefing, Microsoft introduces MicroSearch, the company's much anticipated search engine. Dressed as a Revolutionary War Minuteman, CEO Steve Ballmer declares this superior tool will provide independence from the tyranny of Google. MIT announces the 2000 course on its OpenCourseWare site. Courses are delivered on the Sakai platform. The Apollo Group agrees to sell the corporation's e-learning division and Phoenix Online to Google, creating Google Phoenix, the new Google Education Division. With enrollments exceeding 200,000, Google Phoenix is accredited in 32 U.S. states and 16 countries. The e-learning division brings to Google an extensive library of learning objects, simulations, and educational video games, all integrated with the University of Phoenix standard curriculum. Google Phoenix now calls these combined objects, simulations, and games the Google Learning Toolkit. Microsoft announces its acquisition of publishing giant Pearson Education. Chairman Bill Gates announces the acquisition of Blackboard and the formation of Microsoft's Education Division. The division will be anchored by Pearson Learning, Blackboard, and the former Microsoft Gaming Division. Gates also announces that the new release of Windows will contain the Microfolio, a secure, cradle-to-grave personal information repository accessible under conditions controlled by the owner. Microfolio users will receive a free terabyte of storage for their digital holdings. In December, Hollywood talent impresario Michael Ovitz announces the formation of Faculty One, a talent agency for maximizing the free agent value of top instructors. Faculty One's proposition is simple. As the power of education providers rises, great instructors need someone to look out for their interests. Ovitz announces that 13 Nobel laureates have already signed agency agreements. Though it briefly makes tweed and flying hair fashionable in Hollywood, the venture fails dismally when course content producers discover that professional actors have far greater media credibility than actual scholars and scientists. The Screen Actors Guild establishes a thriving educational section. 2009. Disney, Sony, and Apple Computer complete a merger, and Steve Jobs is named CEO. The new Disney Edutainment Division incorporates the Apple iTunes library, Pixar Studios, theme parks, the Sony Gaming Division, and the extensive Columbia Pictures film archive. The Disney Foundation begins to acquire a number of struggling campuses worldwide, promising to invigorate them with Disney magic and to develop a catalog of courses that will entertain while they educate. 2010. Google completes the acquisition of Electronic Arts, the video game giant. Google Phoenix announces a new higher education license. Colleges and universities can now license Google Phoenix's e-learning collaborative environment built on the Sakai platform, get access to the Google Phoenix Digital Library and Learning Toolkit, and get discounts to Google Mentor, the company's 24/7 worldwide network of certified instructional aids. Google also offers higher education clients full curriculum planning services tied to outcome standards recently adopted by the U.S. Department of Education. 2012. Led by MIT, the Open Learning Alliance is formed. Its mission is to develop open source courses, content, applications, curricula, and testing. Users of courses from MIT's OpenCourseWare initiative can now petition Alliance institutions for degrees if students follow prescribed curricula, meet testing requirements, and pay reduced tuition. Harvard, Princeton, and Yale announced the formation of Virtual Ivy, a consortium designed to produce curricula, learning objects, case studies, courses, and assessments for global distribution. Google buys Prometric, the testing and certification division of Thomson Learning, and announces plans to integrate Prometric testing standards and assessments with the Google Phoenix Curriculum, Library, and Learning Toolkit. 2015. Disney, Sony, Fujitsu, and Philips agree on standards for electronic paper and cross-license this technology between them to create an unparalleled manufacturing capacity. 21-inch color, fully communicating display screens that can be folded and put in your pocket reach consumers by month's end. Short of brain implants, mobility has taken the ultimate step. 2017. Disney Edutainment announces a contract with the UK's Open University to enhance the production values of the OU's courses through Disney's and Pixar studios. A number of the OU's courses will now be delivered on Disney Sony's new PlayStation 6 gaming platform. In a stunning competitive response, Google introduces Synfac, a no-bot generator that creates an artificial academic persona according to customer-provided input. Students generate their own artificial instructors based on profile data and course performance, achieving a psychologically convincing simulation of one-on-one instruction. Google quickly releases SimStu, a companion product that populates each student's class with artificial peers designed to elicit appropriate study behavior. Student chat sites and Facebooks now brim with speculations about which of their peers are humans and which are synthetics. Google Phoenix becomes the first faculty-free institution of higher learning. Defending the new synthetic pedagogy in his book, Narcissus in the Academy, one Harvard psychologist argues that college-age young people are better socialized to virtual worlds than to real ones. A post-social generation, he says, demands and deserves a de-peopled learning environment. 2020. The landscape of higher education has been transformed. The gates have been thrown wide open. Millions of people have access to a rich variety of learning opportunities face-to-face, online, or in synthetic worlds. Corporate educators like Disney, Google, and Microsoft compete for a worldwide market by creating dazzling courses crafted by renowned faculty, filmmakers, game designers, media specialists, and others. Traditional institutions have banded together in consortia like the Open Learning Alliance and Virtual Ivy. By 2020, access to library holdings, to leading scholars, to a broadband network infrastructure, and to learning resources is virtually unbounded. Educational quality is palpable, and access to faculty mentors is just a click away all day, every day. The long-standing paradox of providing universal access with mass personalization has been largely addressed. Or has it? By 2020, all but the wealthiest institutions of 2006 have standardized their curricula under competitive and regulatory pressure to reduce costs and prices. The commercial giants with a variety of revenue streams from advertising and license fees offer rich and convenient courses and educational services at a fraction of the prices of their traditional counterparts. Only the wealthy can afford to send their children to private residential institutions. Many bucolic campuses have been acquired by the newcomers and are operated like academic theme parks. Few international students come to the U.S. for study, as China, India, Australia, and others compete to keep or attract the world's brightest students. Public universities have no choice but to license the lower-priced course options from the commercial suppliers or to modify open-source offerings. Research faculty can assign classroom work to teaching assistants and retreat to the more exciting and remunerative research realm. 2020 is also the year of the first higher education content scandal. One global educator has systematically insinuated hateful and inflammatory images and texts subtly throughout the curriculum. In 2020, access to higher education is nearly universal. Quality is high, cost is lower, and neither distance nor financial constraints pose barriers. Learning outcomes are assessed regularly and consistently. Taxpayer cries of waste and abuse have abated. The intellectual and institutional diversity of American higher education is now largely gone. Course credits are interchangeable because many learn from one of a dozen standard curricula. But in a sheltered garden within a wall, adorned with statues, temples, and sepulchres of illustrious men and women, another educational idea is born.